Okay, good evening, Shabana ma'am. Thank you. So today our topic is, you know, AI in everyday India and how it impacts our lives. So we will take a look at it. Let me just share the screen. Can you turn on my screen sharing, Shabana ji? I think my screen sharing is disabled.
Yes, Haridas. You can share now.
Hope the screen is visible, right? So we all hear a lot about artificial intelligence and its impact, and so we will take a close look at where we stand with respect to India. So India is a huge country of 1.4 billion people across the various strata of life, socially, economically, and ethnically. So, what is developed in the West for more of monolithic unitary systems or languages and cultures may not be really applicable for India. So, we will take a look at how much of it has impacted India and how it is penetrating into our everyday lives. So in fact, the surprising thing is that that India leads in generative AI adoption as a population. Imagine the whole of Europe is only about something about 330 million, while we are about 1400 million is our population. USA is around 300 million or 330 million. So 73% of our population is huge. It shows that the it's like if you remember the adoption of the mobile phones and internet, there has been rapid. Where it took decades in the West, India took leapfrog in a few years. So that's how we are. It may be coming as a surprise to many of us here. So now let's see how the artificial intelligence as a technology is shaping our lives, how much of it has impacted us. In fact, the major areas where AI is impacted is healthcare, education, farming, in fact your everyday life, like payments and even entertainment. So in a way, the proverbial genie is out of the bottle, and into your farms, into your payment gateways, e-commerce portals, your movie selection, music selection, and whole lot of our everyday chores. So that's the pervasive impact of AI, which is already happened in India. So we will take a closer look at how much of it impact it is made in these five sectors where the impact has been significant. So one is that you would have heard about something called digital public infrastructure. That's a digital, you could say, in a digital highway or a galaxy way made by Government of India for onboarding and operating various technologies. The predominant among them is Aadhaar for the identification and validation of individual identity, and the United Payment Interface, which is the UPI for the transactions, which has clocked really billions of transactions a month. So the first impact of AI in terms of technology is on the DPI, on these payment gateways, and this video KYCs and various other type of authentications. So when you look at India compared to the West, it's a diverse country with at least 28 official languages and various dialects and colloquial speeches. So impacting this country will be the ultimate challenge for any new technology. So, in fact, we have just concluded the AI Impact Summit in New Delhi, where the theme was People, Planet, Progress. This AI summit has been attended by, the industry titans like Sundar Pichai, and various other technology companies and startups, apart from the startups in India and abroad. So it shows that we are small inputs, but it is making big everyday impacts. So because anything that is brought to India in a meaningful way quickly gains scale. So that's our unique feature about our country and our people. So these are the sectors as see if the technology doesn't, if it remains only in the fancy boardrooms or the top level C suite executives for their business management, doesn't make sense. For a country like India, it has to reach out to your farmer on the field, your housewives at home trying to do chores, the street vendor, the shopkeepers, and various other infrastructural and everyday activities. Now, let's look at the adoption statistics this year. As I said, 73% of Indians use generative AI, which is the highest in the world, and 87% of the enterprises, the businesses, use some form of AI, and 40% plus use heavily in the ITES, what is generally known as the technology enabled or the call centers and other various back office, like they call it GCC, Global Capability Centers, and other gig workforce, which is the euphemism for the internet-based various internet-based businesses. So our AI talent pool is doubling, and millions are reskilling. The what was launched in Uttar Pradesh called Future Skills Prime is being utilized by millions of people in the country to gain basic understanding of AI or gain some preliminary level skills in artificial intelligence. So what it means is that in about a few years' time, by 2030, this technology, this will be transforming our industry and economy and adding a couple of trillions into our GDP, and will make a positive impact on the lives of the people. You know, the if you listen to the various keynote addresses by the AI leaders during the AI summit, they all said that it will be used as a force multiplier, not a jobs killer. The jobs may be replaced in some sectors, but it will be quickly gained in various other techniques, like it happened the advent of technology at various stages of the past few decades. AI will also follow that. So now, looking at the farming, I mean, even now, 60% of our labor, India's labor, is still engaged in farming or farming related activities, mostly in the vast hinterland of India's rural areas. So, there, with a camera on a phone, AI enabled, the farmer can instantly access the latest information about the crops, the soil conditions, or even advice on weather and other high yielding uh, st- tactics or strategies. So this, especially this smart predicts the one particular thing about agriculture is that it is heavily dependent on weather. In fact, if you have observed the farming crisis at various states like Maharashtra and other places, widespread drought and other issues have always persisted, which was which remained unpredictable and leading to farmers, economic distress and their suicide and all that. But with the AI-enabled advanced weather prediction systems, they are able to anticipate this kind of natural calamities like drought, or the hurricanes or large storms or excess rain or torrential rains or whatever calamities that may befall, and can take remedial measures to a great extent. So this helps the farmers stabilize their income, protect their crop, some way insure themselves, and ensure that they earn their income uninterrupted. So in this space, it is important to look at something like Bharat Vista or multilingual input, where a farmer in Andhra Pradesh can access these inputs. He need not necessarily understand English or Hindi. He can access it in his own language in Telugu and communicate with it. So that is where the last mile development, which is helped and which is made an impact in this technology enabled field. And with all this, precision farming tremendously boosts the crop yields and reduces wastage. In fact, since land holding in India is widely distributed and most of the farmers are either farm labor or they are marginal farmers, so we do not have scale, which is leading to a sort of fragmented agricultural harvesting, storage, and transportation. Unlike the countries like Australia, United States, Canada, where you have the holdings are in hundreds of thousands of acres, and they have access to the best technology in farming, harvesting, and in storage and distribution. The last 2 points are especially significant, where they say that something like 30 to 40% of our farm yield is lost in farming, so in the storage part, because we do not have storage facilities distributed across country with to protect the crops, and with the necessary infrastructure like refrigeration or other protection measures. So that is where the new technology comes to the farmers' aid. They can access all the technology, maybe pool their resources. So this helps the farmer improve their incomes, plan in a marginal way. Maybe they can get together as a collectively commune and access technology and ensure their livelihood and improve their living standards. And this also helps us reduce the imports and protect our food intake and storage. So another important field of impact is the healthcare. So in a vast country like this, if you have observed over several decades, especially post Second World War, we all struggle with various contagious diseases and seasonal diseases, which we had no means to protect or anticipate. So today, with the advent of technology like AI, you have the diagnostics. Diagnostics have grown leaps and bounds, especially on diseases like what used to be known as consumption, or popularly the tuberculosis. So we lost a lot of lives, thousands of lives, millions of lives in the early decades due to TB and other chickenpox, malaria, and such diseases. Now, with you have the screening facilities, you can avail treatment early on and protect yourself and get cured. Now you have something called E-Sanjeevani. This is a massive program by the government of India for online consultancy, which is of course AI assisted, also known as telemedicine. The farmer need not travel, or the remote villager need not travel to the cities for accessing medical advice or help or even treatment. He can avail it at the fingertips on his mobile and get help early on. So this helps in treatment and also help him protect his health. So this kind of penetration of the handheld devices, doctor support, it will improve the rural health and sanitation in a longer way. So, and also advance, especially serious diseases, terminal illnesses like cancer. This early detection helps a long way in ensuring that the person or the patient is cured and prevent unnatural deaths early on. So that was one area, where AI has made its impact. And India is a country of learning. We've always been, since time immemorial, we have had our Vedas, Upanishads, and all other kinds of learnings. Today, you have, advanced learning systems of whether it's computer science or data analytics or medicine or engineering or any other subject. So now you have adaptive applications, AI tutors. So you have the virtual avatars taking the government's K-12, tuition programs. So what used to be rote learning when the Britishers left, they they we have inherited something called rote learning methods, meant only to produce enough clerks for the empire. So now, with the value addition in with the brought on by the artificial intelligence, you have the multilingual tools, like Bhashini, which will break down the language barriers and help the people who lack even the proficiency in English. It will help them gain knowledge in the subject of their interest or their aptitude. So again, in the class, the students can access personalized notes, the lecture notes, and the exam preparations. You have various tools on like Chat GPT style virtual assistants are available, and all this helps your learning in a great way. And the government school has also improved tremendously with all the AI assisted learning, computer programming, and the analytics which come with this. The personalized analysis of your learning curve. It will help the tutor as well as the student in understanding the deficiencies and correcting it and moving forward. So that's a long way uh, we have achieved in learning due to the widespread usage of the technology. See, today, almost in all across the country, the government school, in fact, some of the places like, where in rural Tamil Nadu, where the corporates have involved in a large way, like Zoho. You have rural schools, government schools, which are equipped with latest AI-enabled learning, and the kids, they need not go to the expensive English medium schools. They can learn in their own language, you know gain as much knowledge as they want in a subject of their choice. So this helps in inclusion in a great way. As they always say, technology is the biggest enabler, and also technology is the biggest inclusion technique. Now now like let's look at how much of impact it is made in our daily lives. So as you hit the streets, you can see that the big cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad and New Delhi and all that. Many of the vegetable and other street sellers have proudly displayed their QR codes, and you can pay through any of the payment applications in an instant. You need not carry your wallet or carry cash, or even your credit card. So this, I think, that is one area where the AI has hit our daily life with a significant impact. Now, another area of contention was in terms of accessing credit. The credit has always been, limited to people with certain knowledge or with some financial standing and stuff like that. Mostly confined to the big cities or tier one or tier two cities. But with the explosion of AI enabled tools being used by various new age creditors, I mean the credit companies, the startups and other NBFCs. So all the associated risk can be eliminated, like fraud or other mis-selling or other misappropriation, and the needy and the deserving can be offered credit in an instant by analyzing their credit history or other financial parameters. So see, all this transaction can happen. See, this is one area I have seen. I have attended a Meta conference in Mumbai. The kind of penetration they have made. See, today something we have something. The advancement of e-commerce, they have advanced to something called WhatsApp commerce. The statistics rattled by Meta is humongous in the country. The way the small traders, small business, MSMEs have adopted WhatsApp commerce is it's really mind-boggling, because the customer can, in fact, even a few banks and insurance companies have demonstrated that you can do the whole communication, the starting from the first contact to your bank or NBFC till the time you receive funds in your account. The whole uh, transaction or the communication can be handled on WhatsApp. In fact, they are moving to the next level called you. In fact, you need not be even literate, in the sense you need not have the chatting ability. The evolution what is taking place is the WhatsApp chat commerce. The customer can talk in his or her language, and the bot will answer him, and the backend take up all these commands and puts forward the required documents or other things required, and the customer can access the funds almost instantly. So this explosion has really hit our daily lives, whether it's any kind of personal loans, small business loans, vehicle loans, even BNPL, that is buy now, pay later. That's an instant credit for buying. The amount need not be very high. Starting from small items, also you can utilize all this. So all this happens in an instant. This is all been, there is not, unlike in the early days where a financial institution used to employ thousands of people to do all this back end work. So all this happens with a small team monitoring the technology and tracking the transactions, and with all the checks and balances. All this happen very safely and comfortably in the comfort of your home. So one more area, what we have what we started enjoying is the gig commerce, or something called the instant deliveries, your Zomatos, Swiggies, and Denzos. So all these people are, in fact, these are some of the companies. In fact, the biggest technology company today is, one of the technology companies is Amazon, which started off as a store or a provision store or something like that. Just that today, technology they are employing is as good or better than any internet-based company. So today, the gig workers, the workers who actually do the last-minute delivery or collection. So they are all dependent on this kind of applications running at the background with artificial intelligence, so that their routing, their work schedule, and even their earnings and incentives can be planned, and it will really help them organize their personal lives as well as their work life, and ensure that they meet their sorry their monthly targets on sales, as well as their incentives and other benefits. See, and this also, at various points, as you can see, it took a while for the customers to trust all these technologies. With the startups, few startups have come up with this kind of options initially. So today, as you can see, even in gold coin deliveries, which happens usually at two occasions in India, one is Akshay Tritiya, mostly in the south, and Dhanteras, Diwali period. So a few years back, a few jewelers started by using these instant commerce people for delivering their gold coins for these auspicious, because these are occasions where the muhurta or the auspicious timing matters. People are very particular about it. So these people have ensured that they deliver in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever time frame they have in mind, a gold coin or a silver coin, maybe half gram, 1 gram, 2 grams. silver coin up to 50 grams, 100 grams to your doorstep without any major shortcomings in delivery or in financial irregularities. So it has been such a roaring hit that today all of them have made it available almost throughout the year, not just for the festival occasions. So another issue, which is if you have traveled all around the country, what you face is that every 500 kilometers, the language changes in the country. Language is uh, uh, not just a communication tool or a interconnect between people. It also represents the local culture and customs. Considering that we are an ancient country with a old civilization, so language has always been an issue with the modern democratic method of our politics. You know, it has also become very contentious. So today you have government applications like Bhashini. You can real time translate one from one language to another, something like 22 languages. It translates and you can get instant results. And this is integrated with various government services for governance, where the public interacts with the government departments and agencies like e-Shram and e-Gram Swaraj in a major way. So in this country, some of the biggest corruption and the deficiency in services was happening mostly in the delivery of the services. So with all this and with better information spread to the large population, we are able to bring down the corruption, the leakages in the system, and ensure that the citizen gets his due, whatever he is trying to access from the government. So this has led to very fast and transparent services in governance and even in our courts to a great extent. It is it is helped. You can access various judgments and understand the government procedures and formalities instantly through the AI enabled various tools and applications. Then, you have all kinds of avatars available, and also the people who are differently able, they have various help. The visually challenged or speech impaired, and all these people, have various AI enabled tools which can help them access the basic services. Again, whether it's from Manrega at the ground level, basic employment generation opportunity provided by the governments to the services of justice, like accessing the court services. AI is hugely penetrated into the government services and its delivery in a very successful way. So, you know with such a diverse and ethnically different population, so this helps in an inclusive growth, and maybe in a greater way through a better national integration across the entire Indian subcontinent. Now now let's look at the slightly uh, you know uh, lighter things like your shopping and music and movie selection. That is how to spend your leisure time. Here again, the AI tools, if you provide them access, so they can curate your favorite music for you, create a playlist. Same thing with the various OTTs, which you have subscribed. So they all can curate your favorite programs and come up with you know movies or music of your liking, and create playlists. So with that level of personalization, it also helped even the producers make the right content, assuming that the cohorts or the group of people with the similar taste, when they put together, in marketing, it's called a cohort based analytics, and it will help them build better content, which also get them commercial success. We are also satisfied in the sense, we get content of our choice instead of waiting a few minutes or few hours on content which is not to our liking. So again, you have all kinds of navigation and payment gateways and all these points, all various smart assistants avatars are available in various forms, like as voice assistant, as chat assistant avatars. It will help you navigate the application and complete your transaction. Now, again, coming to the Bollywood and other large entertainment industry, media industry, you have all kinds of influencers. Now, the latest of late, you have virtual avatars and influencers, who are assisting you, or maybe at times even promoting content or services of your choice, or which might interest you. Again, when you start all kinds of navigation, your selections on routing, traveling, and traveling is another area. It's like whether it's the air travel booking or train booking or hotel booking, you have tremendous applications available, where they give you curated choices depending on your previous travel patterns, your likings, your places of choice, stays or vacations. Everything can be curated and offered to you. So all this saves us a lot of time. With the click of a button, you are accessing all this. Now, coming to this internet, so that's where our large number of our youth are employed, what is known as the knowledge economy or gig economy or internet-based startups and other companies. The statistics is again staggering, like 92% employees using some kind of artificial intelligence tools. This is one of the highest in the Asia Pacific. Now, coming to whether it's analytics, automation, productivity, it is penetrated deeply into information technology industry. That is software coding, the various products making, and the IT enabled services like the global capability centers. Then the retail, again logistics. So all these fields have been tremendously aided by the technology. Now, see, one problem in the country has been that the tier 2 or 3 cities and the rural areas, the candidates had the problem of accessing the when they apply for the jobs. They always had to travel to the big cities for the interviews and stuff like that. So today you have the new startups, the applications like Apna app. You can see that hiring can be fully digital until the company or the hirer wants to meet the person physically. Because the AI assistants, the AI boards, which are almost human-like, they do the preliminary assessment, interview, and select or at least shortlist the candidates, so that the unnecessary travel to the cities can be avoided, and the recruiters also, it saves a lot of time and resources in selecting the right candidates in the right period they have in mind. So all these have created a lot of jobs in data science, analytics, engineering, and all this, and opened up huge opportunities for our youth. So in that way, AI isn't stealing jobs. Some jobs have transformed. In fact, some jobs cease to exist, but the jobs are created in various other fields. The jobs, or rather, jobs have become much smarter with the advent of artificial intelligence. So such is the so we have briefly covered the onset of AI into about 5 or 6 areas, which has made the huge impact in the country and influenced the population in a big way. Now, lastly, but not the least, the environment and sustainability with a country of our size and with limited land and other resources. It's always important that we protect our resources like our land, water, air, and the quality, and make it livable and sustainable for not only for us but also for the future generations. So the precisions what we achieve through all this technology tools in preservation of water, or rather cultivation with less water usage and better yield uh, in the crop prediction and the climate calamities predictions. So the AI models can, in fact, almost accurately predict all the calamity and protect the farmer. So this helps the environment in a great way to reduce wastage and ensure that optimal resources are put. No over cultivation or over chemical manuring, and the destruction of the soil, the pollution of the waterways, or even the pollution of air can be avoided, or maybe to some extent minimized. So, in a country like India, where water is a scarce resource, so that's a that is made a big impact. Now, before we close, let's even look at some of the flip side of it, without which any discussion on the AI will be incomplete. So, as in any new technology or new development, there is always the haves and the have-nots, who have, the people who have access to the technology, and the people who lack the access to the latest technological tools and services. So government is taken in a great way. I think a country of this size, I don't think any other country has made such a headway into this technology and its penetration among the population. So this in a way has helped us. Nevertheless, the fear remains, and also you have issues like the privacy, the protection of our private lives, the dissemination of our data, our preferences, our likes, even our private lives, and the exploitation in the hands of the wrong people. So that remains a fear. Government is come out through the Digital Data Protection Act, like that. Some way they are trying to address this issue. And of course, coming to the employment, there is large scale, there is widespread fear that the less engineers will be needed for the job. But again, there will be some hardships, but you have to be prepared and identify new areas. India is a resourceful country. Our youngsters are very creative. They are creating new businesses using the technology, which will create jobs and add to the economy. So let's hope that it will go in that direction. And again, the huge data centers powering all this AI technology and other things, they consume a lot of power, water. That remains a concern. Again, the technology in the wrong hands, which can be manipulated, using it for propaganda, political means. All these issues remain a concern. Some way the government is trying to address, partly or fully. But I guess the conclusion is that, with our understanding, and in the people like the major AI proponents like Elon Musk, always stressing on the ethical use of artificial intelligence. Let's hope, by and large, it remains on the positive side of the technology, and help people live our lives in a better way. So AI in 2026 and beyond, let's see it with an optimism coupled with realism, not pessimism. So that is what I would like to conclude this presentation.
Thank you, Hariji. You covered very interesting and all the important points. So,
Thank
if
you. Thank
anyone
you.
has any question and would like to share anything, you have to unmute. So, I think one thing which I would like to share, ki, of course, AI has got a lot of benefits, and now it has become inevitable. So, we can't do without using it, I think, in most cases now. but
Absolutely.
I find very limited discussion, particularly in India, the ethical side of it that you have mentioned as well.
Right.
Because AI, it doesn't matter which field it is, like if you really work with the data, you would see there are still many of the mistakes. So there is gap in the real data and the accuracy part of it, and it has impact, because people are, and particularly in India, when large number of people are simply using it, so they are not looking into the accuracy, how accurate it is, until and unless you really work with the data, you sometimes can't figure it out as well. So I think those discussions and those kind of they are also can be seen as an opportunity where, like, really there is a need of people who can look into it, work on it, because if we don't, then the number of people who will be impacted in India would be far too more than in any other country as well. So
Exactly. Even in the, in fact, the AI summit just concluded. For one, comments which has come out from the industry leaders and the technology evangelists is that the this explosive impact of the AI, the
yeah,
population has not. I mean, the general population has not taken it in a very enthusiastic the way they have adopted probably the mobile phone, or the mobility technologies and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that shows that the public are wise, they are cautious, they are
mhm,
watching it, how it is impacting their lives, since nobody is able to uh, predict with any certainty that this will only produce positive results. So this watchfulness by the public, by individuals, and even by the governments and other authorities, that should help us address the concerns and hopefully guide it in the right direction.
yeah. And also the gig workers, I think that aspect still, we I think it's very important. Like recently what happened, and it's all recently it has been in news for quite some few days, like, so we have to really think about more of ethics, because it happens more in India than any other country, right? So if you go to Western countries, they we don't have these kind of gig workers, like 10-minute delivery or something. So we have to consider, I
I
think.
know. See, that is in a way probably, if not dark, slightly gray side of the economy, where you have this large number of people, hitting the roads, oblivious to their safety and other motorist safety. While I lived in Bangalore, I used to see that tweet from the commissioner of police in Bangalore, the traffic commissioner. He
Yeah,
used to threaten once in a while that okay, all the vehicles will be seized, if you violate the traffic. But see, considering the number of people engaged in this, I think they could never take that step. I mean, it remained as a threat only because the large number of people they are employing is huge. So, uh, so those kind of issues remain. But I think some solution will arrive in the coming days. Once people have come to the realization that it doesn't make any difference whether you get your provision in 10 minutes, or if you can't even plan a couple of hours ahead, you
yeah,
know where is the value addition?
yes. I think even as a society, we
Yeah,
have to think that it is, yeah, how safe it is. And also
exactly,
because
exactly.
most of the jobs, like people are losing the creative side, and they are left with these kind of jobs. So there are more jobs for, in the gig work, or in as a
Exactly.
taxi driver, or like this. So that is also a kind of loss for
Instantly
many.
available. If you move to a big city, the first thing you can look at is go to the Swiggy office, Zomato office, and enroll yourself. Or if you have a vehicle, or if you can access vehicle, Uber, Ola, or other Rapido type services.
Yeah. I think Rajvin wants to Rajvin, yeah.
Um, okay, so I would like to say, Haridas ji, every time you give session, or any other trainers give a session here, including myself, it is very transformative, because each sessions bring meanings, and This sessions brought me inclusivity and brought me saying that there's hope. And there's a hope. And although I'm going through a challenge this past yesterday, I've been having pain. So this you reminded you reminded us that any problem we face in life, these too shall pass. My pain too
Definitely.
shall pass. And when I uh and when I come out stronger, then we both can do something on accessibility. So because I think that whatever you have presented here, it is very precise and it's very apt for today's now. In
Thank you.
India,
Thank you.
oh, this happens not only in India, this happens all over the world, especially uh, when we talk about accessibility and inclusivity, it's all because we are all fighting for human rights. Human rights is to be inclusive and to be um differently able and differently able, trying to be able as possible. That's what I'm trying to make myself as a human being. I'm not stigmatizing myself here. I'm talking talk, talking as uh, a special human being. I mean, if I was normal as in your situation, I would like to have justice in this country, and I would like human rights to make peace and to have a comfortable living. Thanks.
That's right.
So very well presented. So
Thank
I
you.
hope we can have more sessions. Maybe the next time around, maybe I will do a session with you,
Sure.
because I have a lot to say as well. So yeah. So thank you, Shabana.
Sure.
Maybe we can consider a duo together. Maybe I can interview Haridas also.
Oh, thank you.
Introduce.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Love to.
Awesome.
Yes.
Meena ji and H. Uh, Basav Raju. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it right. So I think we have no more questions, but it was
Fine.
really wonderful to listen to your presentation and to know all
Thank you.
these advancement as well, and to be positive with this
Sure.
technology. Thank you so much, Haridas ji, and thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Shavana ma'am. Thank you, everybody. Good night to you.